Hi, I'm Jenny Miller of Let's Get Sewing. Are you ready to take the fear and frustration out of your sewing experience and finally get sewing? Then you're in the right place. Be sure to click subscribe so you don't miss any of my tips and tutorials. And check out the caption too. There's a link to my website where you can find out more about my course, Conquer Your Sewing Machine, and future courses that I have coming. And now, let's get sewing. Today, I want to talk to you about a sewing tool that I absolutely love. It's relatively new to me. I discovered them when I started working at the fabric store about 2 years ago. Anyway, so in the last 2 years, I've discovered these, and they are these hot press hemming tools. So these are made of felt. And the reason that's the reason I love them so much. I had a hemming tool that was made of metal, I think probably aluminum or something. I went to get it out to make this video, and apparently I got rid of it once I discovered these. So that's how good they are. You can press and hem with these with your iron directly on them. Now, the metal one that I had, when I would do that, all of the steam from my iron would condense on the metal and make my fabric wet. And it was just kind of a mess. I didn't like it. Also, the metal would get very hot and was difficult to work with. You had to be careful where you grabbed it so you didn't burn yourself. But because these are made of felt, they absorb that steam and work like a charm. They have these grids on them so that you're just going to press your hem up however much your pattern calls for or however much you need hemmed off of it and press it. And I'm going to show you how to do that in just a second. But I also have this one, which has a curved edge for pressing pockets around. You just kind of gather them around to the back, or, well, I guess you would gather them around to the front and press those in place. So I really love to use that one as well. So come on, let me show you how they work. So what we're going to do is find our 1/4 inch mark on this ruler or this grid, and we are just going to turn the fabric up right here to that 1/4 inch mark. We're going to leave the ruler there and press our fabric. And we're just going to continue to go along the edge, making sure that our fabric is right here at 1/4 inch. If you need to, pull up a little more or push back, whichever you need, and just press that right there on the 1/4 inch, and now we have that crease. Now, because of the thickness of this, that crease is probably not quite as tight as the crease that I made with the seam gauge. So I'm just going to go right back over this and be sure that everything is pressed nice and tight. I've cut out a pocket template here. This is the wrong side of the fabric, and I'm going to use this hot hammer tool to make nice even curves around the corners of the pocket. There are two different ways that you can do that. I'm going to show you both. So first I'm going to do this side, which is completely unfinished. I'm just going to put my pocket template, or I'm sorry, my pressing template right here, and I would press the edges of the pocket. And when I get to the corner down here, I'm just going to go around the corner very carefully with my fingers, lifting up or folding the fabric up and lifting the iron up to get all of that pressed nicely into place. And that works really well. You can see it took a little bit of time and being very careful with my fingers, but I've got a nice curve to my pocket. What I prefer, though, that's a little bit easier and going to give me a little bit smoother edge, I have run a basting stitch along here, just like a gathering stitch. I sewed it right along the edge where I'm going to be, or the seam line where I need this pocket to turn. And I am just going to carefully gather that fabric up so that it looks like this. And then I can press my template into the corner, pushing it out until those stitches are right along the side there. And then, same thing, just going to take the iron and press the edges of the pocket into place. And that went much faster with that method. And you can see I got kind of a nicer curve to the edge of my pocket than I did on this side. I've got a couple little points here. This one's nice and smooth. So if I did that on both sides, I would have a nice even pocket to sew onto my garment. I hope you found this video helpful. I know that you will love these as much as I do. I'm going to put some associate links that I have down in the description so that you can order some for yourself and give them a try. I know once you do, you're going to absolutely love them. And now, let's get sewing. Thank you for joining me today. My goal is to take the frustration out of your sewing experience, and so I hope my tips are helpful. Feel free to comment with any questions or ideas you may have. I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Now, let's get sewing.